Hello everyone, welcome back. So I finally made some progress today, and I want to give a big shout out to um, um, yep, gotta find him. I want to give him proper credit for helping me out. So what I did was I spent some time with one of the other thankful mentors in Angular, and we worked through the issues together. He was very helpful in. He's probably in. He was very helpful in helping um, with this problem and getting it all fixed. And it it's been a great it's been a great. We finally made good progress. We dropped down. We're we're still really confused as to like why it worked, but it worked. So aha, found him. Okay, so big shout out to Thomas for helping me out with the Angular 2 app. So go check him out if you'd like, or if you're in Thankful, he hosts office hours on Fridays around 11 a.m. Eastern time. And he's very helpful, very nice, very kind. Just does general JavaScript stuff, PHP stuff, I believe. Does other other things. Great guy, and definitely good resource to have. So thank you very much to Thomas for helping me out. Let's look at what we did. So I need to pull it down because I was on a different computer when we worked on it. Of course they'd be changed, right? So I'm gonna do something you usually shouldn't do. Wait. No, let's try to merge these, right? Committing to merge. Lots of conflicts. All right, well, let's look at how do we take care of conflicts in Git. Well, the first thing is to pay attention to the output, and it tells you exactly which files it is. Now, when you get a conflicted file, open that file, and you'll see inside that file, you'll see these funny new lines that have been put in there. And basically, what this means is this to the equals is what's in the head of this version. And then we have this to the commit number is what we have in the head of the other version. And so what you do is you manually piece these things back together. Now it could be just as simple as going, oh, I want to choose this over this, and you just delete one. Or it could be that you want to merge them together manually. What it is that Git doesn't know how to handle the merge, and so it's just saying, hey, I don't know what to do with this, so you need to do something. So you just go through and you edit the file, and you just merge things together. And I'm gonna try now that I'm gonna try going with this version of it, and just remember what I did here. I was just using a object literal in the array instead of using the constructor and the model, but I think we found the issue, so I'm going to go ahead and try it with that. So now that we have our file back together, you just save the file, and then you need to tell Git you're done with it. And so you just do a git add, and then the file is table, entries table, JavaScript. And once you do that, if you're checking out the Git status, you'll see that, hey, both modified on these ones, and then now these ones have been accepted. And so you just work through what you see down here. So the next one is countries row. And okay. So git add components, countries row JS. Interesting. Okay, and then the last one is the countries table HTML file. So here's the big piece that we changed. This is what we had. We had tr template for each country and countries, which worked. Well, no, never worked. And this is what we're having issues with. Then I dug through that Angular documentation that I found deep inside the Angular source code yesterday, one of the videos that I did, one of the earlier videos, where I found that gem. So I guess that was video 2, I believe, episode 2. So I pulled this, but I ignored this one. And when we flipped over to using this one, it all just started working. So I don't know if this syntax somehow I got wrong or there's something else I have to do, but it definitely was not working. All right, so now we're going to add that last piece, and well, it should be the last one, so we can just run the git add everything, and then you just commit your merges together. So correcting conflicts. All right, so then once we have done that, now we're all fully updated. And we'll give it a run. So, oh, I can't spell that. Okay. So now we go to localhost 8080. And if we flip over to this page, wait a second, and all right, so this is our object finally coming through. Now, the issue that we see here is that it's not lined up, obviously. And so what I'd like to do is we're going to flip the UI around to start using not a table, but something else, because I think what's happening is we have tbody, but then we have template, and then we have countries row, and then inside of that is the tr, or it's not in the normal table format, and I think that the HTML table is not processing this the way that we want it to be processed. So we're going to start moving over to some HTML5 stuff, where we're just going to let's do section, and we'll do a and we want to put a class on here. We'll call it that, I guess, or flex container, flex table. I don't know. Doesn't matter what we call it. And then we're going to want to make something for a header row. So let's do a what should we do? Let's do like an H3, I guess. We'll put the name in there. All right, and then we'll do another H3. And H3. And we do need the concept of a row, so this is our table, so we'll go div row, or class equals row. There we go. So we'll do that instead of flex table, because we're going to enable flex on this element. All right. So move this stuff over so it's lined up. One thing I always tell my students, and I do it myself, is be very, 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 very religious about your tab spacing. You will catch so many more errors, or so many things will not become errors because you've been very, very particular about how you set this stuff up. So please, please, please do, pay attention to the stuff, or your tab spacing on your files. Every time you open something but don't close it, you should tab over. I usually like to use 2 space tabs instead of 4 space tabs. These are 4 space tabs, but oh well. We can clean that up later. Alright, so now that we have this set up for our row, the next thing we're going to do is for each one of these, we're going to do another div row. And then I think we're going to go paragraph tags. Okay, so now we need to add a little bit of CSS to get this looking correct. So, well, that's right, we're in component world, so that means that we need to define the CSS in here. So we'll do style, and we'll say dot row, and it will have display flex. Alright, and then in our table, we'll do the same thing. Style, and dot row, display flex. Alright, and if we refresh, we should get hopefully something that doesn't look absolutely terrible. Not a lot different. Okay, did we actually change anything? Nope, it's still using tables, heads, and stuff like that. So that's a little strange. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the HTTP server and restart it and see if we get a better refresh on this. Aha. Okay, that looks mostly correct, at least until that point. In our countries table, we have a debugger statement, so I will remove that. Alright, so slightly better, as in it's actually lining stuff up, but it's not distributing them correctly. So, how to get this to look right? So, I mean, I get what's going on. What if we did the section as a class of, yeah, sure. Or how about, countries table? countries table. And we'll say that it has a width of 100%. What does that do for us? Not much, or it didn't take it. Well, it does have that on there. With 100%, but I guess it's going 100% of what? Which makes sense. What if we set this to width of 100%? Yeah, and I'm sure it's going 100% of what? Really? No, still. Was the row? No. Alright, so I'm just going to keep going down. Actually, where's our headers? Where's all our headers? Section. Aha, here are our headers. So, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought Flexbox had this trick where it would just flex, direction, flow, grow, shrink, wrap. Flex. What if we did that to all of them? Uh-huh. So, okay, this is starting to look good. Does the end result look good? Aha, okay, so this spreads them out. Okay, I guess we'll go with that concept for the moment. So what we can do is dot row does that work? Any immediate children of any kind need to have flex 1 on them. I have no idea. I've never tried that combination. Yes, it does apparently. Okay, well that's a handy trick, I guess. Well, I don't need to redefine it. Well, I do actually, because we're not using Sass. We're just using this. Okay. All right, then we can flip over to countries row, and we're going to basically define the same thing. Dot row, immediate children of any kind. We're going to flex 1. Haha. All right, so we're getting this even closer to working. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to start actually calling the web service. So, well, I can look at the README in here. So we look at the README. it says that we will be using geonames.org. So I guess we need to go to geonames.org. And we want to find their API. Log in. Create a new account. I guess we'll create a new account. Alright, well, let me do that. You should receive an email with an activation link shortly. Alright, let me go ahead and check the email. And it's there. So I click the link and alright, I'm confirmed and I am now logged in. So if I refresh, aha, here we go. So now I need to find blog, sitemap, next. Web service. Here we go, web services. Okay, so now it looks like web service overview. And what was it that we needed? Let's look at it on GitHub because it's a lot easier to read on GitHub. All right, so first one. Show a list of countries displaying their names, country codes, capitals, area and square kilometers, population, and continent code. Alright, so we need to find one that is countries. Let's do country info. What does this have? Bounding box, capital, area and square kilometers, population. Country code, country name. Continent, capital, square kilometers, population, currency code, languages, postal code format. So this whole thing is a country. So do we have all the required items? Which were names, country codes, capitals. So name, country code, capital, area and square kilometers, population, and continent code. Continent, yes. Area and square kilometers and population. So this one web service will give us all we want. So we need to make a call to here with, I guess, my username. We need to, yeah. So I guess basically now we can actually start using. Well, now I guess we need a country's service. So I created one, right? And I had a country in here, and we had this thing. Okay, so now we need to actually make the HTTP request. Well, I don't know of Angular's way to make HTTP requests at the moment, so we're going to use the good old-fashioned way, which the resource I always use is you might not need jQuery.com. Great resource. Basically what it does is says, hey, in jQuery, if you were to write this, here's how you do it in regular HTML or regular JavaScript. And they have everything from Ajax stuff to how to do show, after, append, before, children, find, do selectors, has class, next. You know, there's all this stuff, removing classes, toggling classes, events. You know, how do you do on special events, array each? I mean, all this stuff, you know, all these different jQuery methods, you can find JavaScript equivalents in here, and it tells you what version. So this will work in IE 8 and up, this will work in IE 9 and up. And of course that means it also works in Firefox, Opera, Safari, Chrome, you know, all those other things. So this is a great resource. And you can also just search for what you want. So if I were to search Ajax, then Ajax, of course, was at the top, but it becomes the only thing I see. So we need to make a quick request, which is this code. So let's wrap a let's create a method called get get countries, and in there we want to make our request. So we're gonna make a request to where was it? Here, and we're just gonna replace it from demo to my actual username. What else? I feel like, you know, this is in XML, and I don't really want XML. Is there a JSON version? Type equals JSON. So let me try that. So if I do type equals JSON, no. Daily limit of 3,000 credits for this demo has been exceeded. User does not exist. But I do exist. Does it need to be capitalized and everything? User does not exist. Alright, this is the overview, so I need to look at the documentation. Do not use the demo account for your app and test. It's only meant to be sample links and documentation. Create your own account instead. The parameter username needs to be passed with each request. The username for your application can be registered here. You'll then receive an email with a confirmation link. After you've confirmed the email, you can enable your account for web service on your account page. Got it. So I need to go to my account page. Change username. User email. What? Oh, free web services. Click here to enable. There we go. Account snare chop. Oh, I misspelled it. I forgot an S. Okay, well, cool. We'll go with that. Snare chop. Okay, so if we do this, yep, we get JSON back, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so we need to do and type equals JSON. Alright, and then on load function, and here's our success handler, and here is our error handler. So for now, we're just going to do an alert. Unable to retrieve list of countries at this time. Please try again later. I don't know. Whatever we want to do with that. And we can put the same error down here. And so our response text, what we want is to, we want to JSON parse it into an object. So, JSON.parse, now it becomes an object. So now we have our JSON. And basically what we want to do is we want to look at what it looks like. So there's a geonames. Okay, so we want JSON.geonames for each and we want new let's see, countries dot push this dot countries, right? Can I do that? Is that safe to use in here? I don't know. X dot or push. Okay. So we want x dot nate. What is our constructor function? Okay. Well, we actually we can just pull the whole thing in. So so this dot countries push x. So we don't really even need a country object. We can just push them right in. Okay. And so then we can remove that. Okay, country service, and in our countries table, we don't need this class. In our countries table, this dot countries equals get this dot countries equals countries service dot countries, and we'll try running countries service dot get countries. It should load them in. We're also not pulling that in, so we're going to get an error. We need to import our countries service from services countries. And we need to make sure that that's also set up in our file, our main file, which is index, no, app, no, countries. Where's our main, like, start everything file? Oh, it's in the HTML. Got it. We do have services. Yes, we do. Okay. Awesome. So, yeah. We should be good, maybe. We can just give it a shot. Again, I don't know if it's going to work. But that's kind of been the theme of this whole thing, right? I don't know if it's going to work. Let's try it. And that's, I think, a really big part of development is you never really know if something's going to work, but just try. Do something. Undefined is not a function. Okay. What? Undefined of what? Zone. XML HTTP request send. At new countries table. Get countries. Maybe I need to do this. I need to put it on the object. Countries service, right? Which is this one. Then maybe I do. I didn't think I needed to for. Yeah, I didn't. I don't think so. I think it should automatically pick it up. Maybe I need to set it to public to expose it. Unexpected token, get countries. Error loading countries. Oh, that's strange. Maybe it doesn't like the public word. Okay. Okay, how did they do it, right? That's kind of been the theme. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to leave it here for right now, and we can come back to it. And but basically, I think this is the way we're going to go. So we're creating a service here. Essentially, there's no more Angular service, from my understanding. There's no more service factory or provider or anything that can be kind of confusing and undecided of which one to use. You just write code. So create a class and put stuff on it, and there you go. It can be however you design it. It'll work however you want it to work, and you don't have to worry about what to call it. So you don't even have to call it a service or a factory or a provider. You can follow that naming convention if that's what you are used to and you like, or you could start calling them different things. Um, so yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here, and we will come back and look at this very soon and hopefully get the web service stuff all running and actually loading content onto the page. But I'm glad that we got as far as we did. It's starting to come together, and we're actually starting to, get some actual data out onto the page and um, fix that little table issue and stuff. So things are looking good, and I will see you guys next time.